Hey, how's it going, guys? It is Fox98 here. Welcome back to a brand new episode of our Road to Mercedes. We're here for the French Grand Prix, which is, I don't even know what round this is. Is this round 7? 6? 7? 6? It is. If you've ever joined today's video, though, feel free to drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here as well to the channel, as we continue to, well, do something. Anyway, let's go through a little bit of admin work before we get on with the race weekend then. So, in the previous episode, spoiler, if you haven't seen it already, you can go see it now. I'll give you like a few seconds. Okay, you seen it? Good, awesome. We actually came in 4th place at the Grand Prix and we set the fastest lap. It was quite clear that the Canadian Grand Prix, it was just fun. I just loved it. The track was awesome and the car was working beautifully. But we're here at the French Grand Prix now, which has got a lot of high-speed corners for our car. So it's going to be a little bit wishy-washy as to what I think it's going to be a Spanish Grand Prix type thing where we finished in P14. It's going to be a difficult one. A few of the tracks actually coming up are not really going to suit the car too much, but we'll have to just give it our best shot, obviously. Looking at the R&D chart, you can see that Mercedes and Red Bull lead the way, but Red Bull are being closed in by Aston, Ferrari and McLaren, who are all neck and neck with each other. AlphaTauri and Alpine are close to each other. Alfa Romeo, in a world of their own, were right on Haas's tail, pretty much as we were from the start of the season. But we have got upgrades on the way. We've got all of these upgrades that are currently in the pipeline. If we then go ahead and have a look here, so we've got a new front downforce upgrade on and a general wear for durability. We did not get the weight redistribution and the engine power, which kind of sucks, but we live without it. Okay then, moving on then, onto your screens now are the current objectives that we have set in place in order to complete before we can move to Aston Martin, the next stage in our road to Mercedes. Now, the short-term objectives, achieving 2 Q3 appearances, we are still yet to do that, and we need to do the short-term objectives by the Italian Grand Prix when the mid-season contract comes through. Lead the qualifying battle versus Russell, we're currently 5-0 up. Score 25 points, we've scored 42, and get out of Q1 5 times, we've done it once. So we've got a lot of work to do. If we cannot do those objectives by the time we get to the Italian Grand Prix, these are the objectives we need to do by the end of the season in order to negotiate with Aston Martin. We need to beat Russell in the qualifying head-to-head, we're 5-0 up. Get into Q3 3 times, we haven't done it yet. Get out of Q1 7 times, we've done it once. Finished 8th in the Constructors, achieve a top 7 finish. So that's what we need to do. So let's get straight into practice, which I'll do, and then you'll see qualifying. First lap coming into the books. Not too bad, it's a long way off Stroll though. So more time to find by the looks of it. But ahead of the Alfa Romeos so far, that's a positive sign that we've actually stayed in front of those two. Okay, let's have a look and see where we're at. Up to the line now with this lap. Where's this going to put us? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's enough to get into Q2. I hope it is, but yeah, it's a bit of a risky one, that. We'll just have to wait and see now on the board. Where are we? Did we make it into Q2? Norris fastest in Q1. Respect, respect, respect. Did we make it into Q2? Oh, yes, we did. P15, so we get out of Q1. Nice, knocking out Raikkonen in there. But look at the gap, though. Like, we're 4 tenths away from Ocon. And can I have a look at his lap? I can. I'll be able to see it. Esteban Ocon. A 22.1, a 27.2, and a 39.4. So a 22.0, so we're a little bit up in the first sector. 27.3, so we're a bit down, and a 39.8. Yeah, we're losing all our pace in the final sector. Unsurprisingly, it's just high-speed corners. I don't have the chassis or the aero to work with them. This is going to be a problem. Right, into Q2 we go. Let's see if we can try and improve. We'll have to wait and see. Well, that was, I mean, Norris got a nice little zoom off me, but we set that lap on a used set of tyres, but still, they felt awful. That doesn't give me much promise for the race. Alright, well there we go then. That is Q2 done and dusted. Best I could have done really. There's nothing more in the car. It's yeah, a bit of a struggle when you get through into Q2, but it's a bit of a waste really. I think we qualified in P15 anyway. Let's have a quick little nose here at the lap times. Yeah, and look at that, we were 4/10 off again, so, you know, no matter what we did, we wouldn't really have gained the time. We're just losing it in the last sector. We just don't have the high-speed cornering. We are working on it, but unfortunately for the time being, we'll have to take P15.
Welcome along then to France, host of the world-famous Tour de France. But we're not talking 2 wheels today, we're talking 4, in a country widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing back in the late 1800s. We've come a long way since then, and you're about to find out how far. It's time for the French Grand Prix. Mastering a lap of Paul Ricard means getting to know 15 corners, 6 left and 9 right, for an overall lap distance of 3.6 miles. The 2 halves of the long Mistral Straight are separated by a heavy braking zone into a potential overtaking hotspot at the Chicane Nord. And watch out for the drivers running onto the distinctive coloured stripes, which are low in grip and highly abrasive. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. We should talk about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Ricciardo, Norris, Charles Leclerc and Perez, Sainz, Vettel, Stroll and Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon, Thomas, Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty, Raikkonen, Antonio Giovinazzi and Mick Schumacher, Russell and Nikita Mazepin. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So Verstappen then takes a grid penalty for this race, which means that we do start in front of him. The question is, do I want to start on the soft tyres or do I want to start on the mediums? I don't really know what I fancy, to be honest. I'm going to drop the fuel down a little bit though. I feel like fuel is probably not going to be too terrible around here. I think I'll start on the softs, but I wouldn't be surprised if... Oh no, I won't start on the softs. Okay, fair enough. Understandable. Here we go then, 5 lights. Decent start. We should be able to get Ocon and Tsunoda into turn 1. I say that. Oh my god! Sainz with the very poor exit there. Oh, I've tried it on Sainz, it's not worked. Up into 9th place though, I just realised that. I am literally the first lap genius of geniuses, full of geniusness and genius land. Question is now is how many places can I hold? Probably not a lot, but we're going to go onto the back straight now. Alonso's too far back here. We're going to have to do ERS saving in this race in order to defend, because in coming into the last sector is where all my time is lost. Flying bollard. Re-rate it. Why not? Okay, we've held on to DRS then here on lap 3. I think there's a Ferrari or someone holding somebody up, but we've managed to... I've used a lot of ERS, so I'm already down to 35% to do it, but we've held on to DRS. So hopefully now, right up to these pit stops, I can just hold on into the DRS train, and then hopefully make the jump maybe on the undercut. It's a strong shout, but I think Leclerc's holding everyone up, and it's costing them time, and they're braking a little bit earlier into each corner. And it's just giving me that extra little inch that I need to stay with these guys, especially through this last sector where I lose buckets of time. I'm very much reaping the rewards of using a lot of my battery in the first 2 laps, and also pushing really hard in this race, because as you can see, we're just blasting really far away now from Stroll, who's in P11, and we're holding ourselves now in this DRS train, so all this pace that I lose in this portion of the lap, it's not really that bad compared to everyone else. No one else is pitting, are they? Well, I am, so you're sorry of luck, I'm coming in. We're boxing now for our medium tyres. Hopefully we can hold up a couple of cars here in the pit stops and just give it a little bit of a nightmare scenario. Not for Lewis Hamilton though, he's absolutely fine. Where are we going to rejoin in all this though? Because the problem is all these cars are going to come out now, and hopefully they don't cost us too much time, otherwise we'll be in the absolute mud here. Let's have a look. I don't think Leclerc's going to hold us up too much. In fact, he doesn't hold us up at all. We're actually closer to Leclerc then than we were previously. Stroll's there. Yeah, we're closer to Leclerc now. I'm going to have to push a bit though to keep a DRS here. That's my only issue. Struggling to stay in DRS range now. Perez, I've lost him again. I did get him back, but now I've got Vettel all over the back of me here. Towards turn 1. Might have to let Seb through, you know, and try and hold on to him maybe. Or just let him through, because he's just quicker in the DRS at the moment. I was only able to survive with these guys because I'm in DRS with them. As soon as I lose it, which these pit stops tend to do, I'm now the leader of a train, basically. No, I think it's sensible that I just let Vettel through here. Don't bother fighting it too much. Just be sensible with it. This plan of sticking behind Vettel in the DRS is working perfectly. I'm able to stick with him in DRS range. I'm using all my ERS on the start-finish straight to keep myself in range when I lose time in the final sector, which is where, well, I lose it all basically. And then I just use DRS to stick with him then. Maybe on the last lap as well, if I can stay close to him, I might try and have a go at him, but we'll see. But at the moment we look set for P8 because Alonso, Verstappen and Sainz and Stroll are fighting each other now. Nah, the AIs have turned up the wick. Unfortunately, no attack on Vettel, I'm afraid, but Hamilton wins and takes the fastest lap, so GG's to him. Well, Ricciardo does actually. But for us though, we're going to take a fantastic 8th place here at the French Grand Prix, and yeah, more points coming in for the team, which is all we need. Okay, so here are the full race classification. So Hamilton beats Bottas to the line. Daniel Ricciardo finishes in 3rd ahead of Lando Norris. Charles Leclerc in 5th with Sergio Perez in 6th place. Vettel finishes 7th ahead of ourselves. Verstappen in 9th. Alonso in 10th with Sainz, Stroll, Ocon, Gasly, Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Schumacher, Russell and Mazepin. In terms of the race itself, well, obviously, as we tend to do, we got a great start. And we managed to get ourselves up into P9, I think it was. That whole race, we were saved by the DRS train. I mean, you saw from Sergio Perez and Leclerc, we lost DRS on them, and that's it. Like, it was game over. If we didn't have DRS, we would not be in the fight. And I was able to tactically manage how I was deploying my ERS in order to stay within the DRS slipstream train of the guys in front. And eventually, it was very clever of myself then to let Vettel through, because I was able to stick with him because he's not as quick as Leclerc and Perez. And I was able to use his DRS then to full effect. So, brilliant stuff there, good work. In terms of the Drivers' Championship then, Hamilton is extending his lead over Bottas up to 17 points. Norris in 3rd with Verstappen 4th in the championship. Ricciardo jumps in front of us now to 5th in the championship, which is fine. Leclerc is 7th ahead of Perez, Vettel, Stroll. Then it is Sainz, Gasly, Tsunoda, Alonso, Schumacher, Ocon, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Russell and Mazepin. Constructors' Championship, Mercedes are now 90 points clear of McLaren with Red Bull on 98 points, Aston Martin 55 points. Ferrari do jump in front of us in the Constructors, but that was bound to happen. Pretty much 6th place is what we're going to be aiming for. And yeah, that is everything for the standings. So let's go back into the laptop now, because we need to make some upgrades heading into the next set of races. Right, here we are then for the upgrade section of the video. It looks like we've just had an upgrade go onto the car for the chassis side of things, which we did. The energy store cells positioning has been unlocked, which means we can now do roll dampers and also engine cover for the weight redistribution, which you can see right there. We could theoretically do this if we wanted to. That would literally catapult us up to Alfa Romeo standards. Something that we can look at, but we're going to have a little look at some other pieces. So tyre wear, I don't need to worry about, mostly because I'm doing 25% races, so they're not really challenging to do. It doesn't matter for me. So we've got an option. We could do the engine cover for the weight redistribution. We've gone to the aerodynamics, and we could do a drag reduction, I suppose, potentially, onto the car. So if we did this, this would get us pretty much in line with Haas and Alfa Romeo. We could do some more front downforce. We're waiting for the rear downforce upgrade to come onto the car. I think it makes sense. We've got the engine cover on the way. I think we're going to go ahead and do this piece here for the weight redistribution of the car, because we're a little bit further away in the chassis compared to the aero, whereas the aero we are actually gaining a little bit. We've got one upgrade on the way for the engine cover, which is now on the car, which is awesome.
Through the fabrication process. We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Phenomenal. So that means now we have got, let's go over to the R&D over here and look at the chassis now. We've now got the engine cover on the car, which is a weight reduction. So it means now that our car, again, is even lighter. The next upgrade is a cable assembly, which is not that expensive, actually. And we should be able to get it then for the next races in the Hungarian Grand Prix, which is what we need to do. But as you can see in terms of the chassis now, we're really pulling away, which is great to see. But we'll leave our resource points there. And if we have a look at the progress history, we'll have a look at that at the start of the next episode. But you can see we're now in front of Haas, making inroads now towards Alfa Romeo. If you guys have enjoyed today's episode, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here as well. I'll catch you guys for the next race in Austria. Take care all. Peace.